This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. I am within 1,500 subscribers of 500,000. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, help me get to 500,000 subscribers. I would appreciate it very much, and I can only do it with your help. Let's talk. I'm going to read, I'll just, spoiler alert, I'm going to read another statement by Donald Trump. But before I do, I want to talk about where we are with Donald Trump. I want to talk about how so many people have chastised me for being an optimist. Oh, it's never going to happen. He's never going to be indicted. He's never going to be held accountable. And some of those people have come around to the fact that although slowly we're getting to consequences for Donald Trump, it is happening. But some of them have actually moved the goalpost. And, he'll be, I know I said he'll never be indicted. Yeah, he's being indicted, but we're never going to see a prosecution. And I just don't see that as the case. I think as time moves on and the facts start to coalesce, we are seeing that there will be consequence for Donald Trump. That is, unless he gets back into the White House in 2024. Because if that's the case, all bets are off on these federal investigations. He will use the power of his own handmade DOJ to scuttle this investigation. And that we cannot allow to happen. I'm going to read briefly, actually, this is the New York Times article. This is the long, meandering statement riddled with spelling errors and capitalization errors. This is the brief overview of what is taking place relative to this investigation with Donald Trump. Then, for all of your edification and entertainment, I will read the statement. This is the headline from the New York Times. January 6th investigation. Trump says he's a target in special counsel's Capitol attack investigation. It would be the second time the special counsel has notified the former president, the ex-president. By the way, a lot of people ask me, why do you say ex? Why don't you just say former? I do it because I'm being a dick. It's because nothing good is an ex. It's an ex-con, it's ex-wife, it's ex-ex-ex. So you never hear someone who served in the Marine Corps refer to themselves as an ex-Marine. It's former Marine. Because ex denotes something negative or connotes something negative. Notified the ex-president that he is likely to face indictment. This time in connection with the criminal investigation into the events leading up to the storming of the United States Capitol. You see, this is not about the documents case. The jurisdiction of this case will be in Washington, D.C. There will be far less likely that chicanery will be afoot with a judge like Eileen Cannon. The jurisdiction of the crime took place right here in the United States Capitol of Washington, D.C. That is a major deal, and Donald Trump is absolutely quaking in his boots about that. Ex-President Donald J. Trump said on Tuesday that he received a so-called target letter in connection with the criminal investigation into his efforts to hold on to power after he lost in the 2020 election, a sign that he is likely to be indicted in the case. It was not clear what aspects of the sprawling investigation the letter may be related to. The investigation has examined an array of schemes, plural, that Mr. Trump and his allies had used to try to stave off defeat, including the events surrounding the January 6, 2021 riot by his supporters at the Capitol. You see, this isn't just about the physical manifestation of the insurrection, the violent attack on the Capitol, and the attempt to overthrow the United States government by stopping the certification of the 2020 election. It's not just that. It's also the several schemes, the conspiracy to insert fake electors, to try to stop the election in Georgia, to try to stop the counting of the ballots in Pennsylvania, in Arizona. There was a wide conspiracy afoot to do more than just try to stop the certification of the election. And that is why the width and breadth of this investigation will lead us to the promised land related to consequences for Donald Trump, in my opinion. Continuing with the New York Times, The letter was the second Trump received from the special counsel, Jack Smith, notifying Mr. Trump that he is a target in a federal investigation. The first, in June, was in connection to the inquiry into Mr. Trump's handling of national defense material after he left office and his alleged obstruction of efforts to retrieve it. Days after that letter became public, Mr. Trump was charged with 37 criminal counts covering 7 different violations of federal law. Final paragraph, Mr. Trump disclosed his receipt of the latest target letter in a post on his social media platform, Truth Social, that assailed Mr. Smith, calling him deranged. He wrote that he had received the letter on Sunday and been given 4 days to report to a grand jury, an invitation he is expected to decline. Here, I will not be reading from this. The print is too small, but it is a long, meandering statement from Donald Trump. But I will read you 2 paragraphs from it, nonetheless. Here we go. Are you ready? If you need a pause and go get a drink for the entertainment that is to follow, I'll be here for you.
Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America.
Everyone is better than the last. Here's the statement from Donald Trump. Wow, he says in all caps. On Sunday night, while I was with my family, family man Donald Trump, having just arrived from the Turning Point event in Florida, where I won the straw poll against all other Republican candidates with 85.7%, with all polls showing me leading in the Republican primary, very substantial numbers, almost everyone predicting that I will become the Republican nominee for president, as I am leading Democrat Joe Biden in the polls by a lot. Untrue. Horrifying news, he proclaims in all capital letters, for our country was given to me by my attorneys.
Deranged Jack Smith.
The prosecutor with Joe Biden's DOJ sent a letter. Again, it was on Sunday night, he says parenthetically. He's trying to keep the Sabbath holy. It's a holy day of rest for Donald Trump. How dare they bother him on one of his high holy days? The ardently, viciously religious Donald Trump, stating that I am a target of the January 6th grand jury investigation and giving me a very short 4 days to respond to the grand jury, which almost always means an arrest with a capital A and indictment. It goes on to, it's long and meandering and nonsense, as you would expect, explaining the fake legal theory that he has under the Presidential Records Act, total authority to do whatever he wants with whatever documents, which is antithetical to the truth and reality. But what I like about this is, how Republicans constantly talk about suck it up, buttercup, no, life's not fair, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, whatever. He ends this in all capital letters, whining, very unfair, which is just so classic Donald Trump. This is the man conservatives revere. This is the man they love and worship and have undying loyalty. When Donald Trump said, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and not lose a single voter, he wasn't wrong. Largely, he was not wrong. They'll look the other way at the criminality. They'll look the other way at the violations of the Espionage Act. They'll look the other way at the misogyny and the racism. They'll look the other way at him acting in a way that they would chide and deride someone else for doing. Very unfair. He's a weakling, a physical and mental weakling, which is really apropos that he is the leader of the Republican Party. And now he's facing more. Who knows? I mean, we should take bets. We should put it in the comments below. How many counts will this next federal indictment contain? Will it be 40? Will it be 45? Will it be 8? What's your guess? What's the number? My guess, let's see. I haven't even thought about it. I just the thought just came to me to do this. So the other one was 37 counts. Let's say this one. I think 45. I think 45 is a good round number. It's really more of a play, a joke to make because that doesn't matter. You get a couple of conspiracy charges in there, and he's already facing 20 years in prison. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think after you've left your guess below, and you want to sound off more. You can call and leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, everywhere there's social media, @Dollemore. I'd love to see you there. And if you want to help support my work, if I bring you value on a day-to-day basis and you're not on a fixed income, if you can afford it, if you can donate money to support and produce what I do and it's throwaway money, please do. If you can't afford it, do not donate. Like, share, tell a friend about the channel. All of that is a way to support. But if you want to, click the join button below, become a channel member, click the super thanks button below, or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. Things are looking up. We are witnessing in real time the slow yet steady march to consequences for Donald Trump. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.